Time to talk business now. With me is Nina Dar. She's a management consultant for a company rather amusingly called Cheeky Monkey. Hiya, welcome. Hi. Before we get into the specifics, so I always ask my guests how the business community are feeling. We're officially out of recession. Your clients a little more optimistic for the future at the moment or not?
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, I've noticed a real difference.
How is that manifesting itself? What, more investment, more spending, or just a confidence?
Definitely a confidence. People talking about more projects, things that were on the back burner now coming off, dusting them off and showing them out again. Good. So, yeah, a lot of optimism, people feeling like this year they've got to do something, stop talking about it and do it.
Yeah, well, British Gas have done something. Yeah. They've cut their prices. I mean, it's 7%. I don't know whether that seems like a lot to you or not, and effective immediately. It'll affect an awful lot of people. It's quite a big cut, isn't it?
How nice that British Gas have got this timing right, because here we are in this real cold spell, and they've been able to say, look, we're going to cut prices and help you all out. But really, there's a lag between the time that they buy wholesale gas and when they sell it to us. So it's just nice timing, really. But it's a bit of good news, so why not? Why not exploit that?
I mean, there has been accusation that many of the utilities companies have been buying gas pretty cheap anyway, and we want to be warm in the winter, and it's been very cold, and they've been very reluctant to reduce their prices. They've been making a tidy profit, haven't they, recently? Well,
there's a number of factors involved in gas pricing. There's supply and demand, the fact that we rely heavily on European gas now, and the timing of those things. So, you know, they're a business at the end of the day. They are going to try and make money, but then they have come forward and said they'll cut at this time when, really, perhaps they didn't need to right now.
Which is terrific. And do you think it'll stimulate a price war? Do you think other suppliers will have to follow suit?
Well, we operate in a completely competitive market for our utilities, so many comparison sites, so people now should be very used to going to these sites and checking out the best price for them.
Is it easy to compare like with like? I mean, often people say, well, you know, they charge me this price per unit, or it's this price per cubic therm, and it's hard to say, well, is actually that one cheaper than that one? It might look like it, but in the small print it might not be.
Yeah, I think these comparison sites now really help you do that. So they're now just little databases where you can put the information in and it'll calculate it for you. So.
Terrific. And if you are struggling with your gas bill, be careful how much you spend, because apparently we have a personal debt mountain in this country. Is it £1.5 trillion? What's a trillion, Nina? Is it a million? 1,000 million is a billion.
A lot of noughts, I think.
It's an awful lot of noughts, and it's an awful lot of debt, and it's a record. Is it concerning, do you think?
Well, in 2004, we broke that trillion barrier. So now we are 6 years later, and we're at 1.5 trillion. So we're just keeping spending, aren't we? Unfortunately, we're in that catch-22 now, where because of what's happened, we need people to spend.
Yes. To re-stimulate the economy, of course.
We do, yeah. So, you know, interest rates were held today, another good thing. So people are going to feel confident. But many, many of us are living outside of our means.
And what are the consequences of insolvency? I mean, there's some, you know, the figures issued saying that 150,000 people could be plunged into insolvency, 15% more than last year. As an individual, if you go bankrupt officially, what are the consequences for you as in terms of your finances?
No credit.
Simple as that?
Yeah, so you have to live on a cash basis. And who's used to doing that now? There's some quite harrowing stories of people that have had to do that. So obviously it's fine living on debt if your circumstances stay the same. If you're made redundant or anything changes, then that leaves you in a terrible position.
So you've got to watch your incomings and watch your outgoings and budget accordingly. Yeah, difficult but necessary. Nina, thanks very much indeed for your thoughts. Always nice to see you.